comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now we had quite a good batch of books this week, so let's get right into it. First up, the pick of the week from Marvel's Max imprint. We have Punisher Max #2, written by Jason Aaron and art by Steve Dillon. Now, I was a big fan of the first issue of this because Aaron and Dillon are just like two peas in a pod. Well, we get a little bit more backstory on the rise of the Kingpin, and this is just such a fantastic arc in my opinion, because you have the king of all crime versus the vigilante whose life's mission is to kill all crime. So if they're button heads, then it's gonna be bloody, it's gonna be gruesome, and it's gonna be spectacular. So the Kingpin's on his rise to the top. He's buying the whores, he's buying the drugs, he's buying the manpower, he's buying the pimp apartment, you know, making the role work. And all these, you know, mutterings through the streets are, the Kingpin's back, the Kingpin is back, and Frank Castle, you know, you're cutting into the business, so that's why he came back. Frank is now a little bit more convinced that there is a Kingpin figure, and now it's his mission to go track him down. But the way the Kingpin was raised, from an abusive father, who he got his revenge on with the rats, to getting raped in prison. The thing he did to get back at the guy who raped him was made his wife get raped by all these bums and crack whores and then kill her. He doesn't just fuck with you. The Kingpin will fuck with your family, drag them through hell, then kill you. Total mindfuck. But anyway, it was a fantastic series. Fantastic issue. I cannot wait to see what happens next. They're going to have to butt heads eventually. It's going to happen maybe next issue. Now, the Fast Five. First up from DC, we have Booster Gold #27. Now this is the continuation of the little two-part story with Ted Kord, the Black Lantern Beetle, versus his old pal Booster Gold. Well, Booster's finally come to grips that this isn't Ted Kord. You know, it might look, talk like him, all this stuff, but it's not his buddy. It's not his best friend that he buried in the ground. No. He has to fight against him. And with the help of Jamie, the you know, R.E.B.L.E. Beetle, it's blue and gold action. And even at the end, after they defeat Ted Kord, they kind of discuss, like, maybe we can have some blue and gold adventures in the future. The way they get rid of his ring is, you know, just total take the ring to another time. That's all. Take the body. It's just got to sever the connection somehow, even if it involves using Ted's old toys against him. Issue, if you're looking for some of the Blackest Night, you know, tie-ins, this is one of them that you want to definitely pick up. Next up from Marvel, we have Deadpool #18. Now, it always seems like Deadpool isn't the most stable characters. You know, that's an obvious, that's a given. But, you know, whatever you think of him, do not think he's an idiot. He has always had a plan this entire time. It might not be clear to you, it might just look insane and come off as insane, but he has things go the way he wants. And even if it looks like he's trying to kill Mercury's father, he has his own agenda. And, you know, eventually it makes the X-Men look like they're in a good light. At the same time, he kind of loses his spot on the X-Men because of it. It was a good, fun issue, a lot of good jokes. I've been loving Way's run on this, Daniel Way's run. But, you know, I didn't want to see him with the X-Men all that much. So it was cool to see him for a limited time, but now it's on to bigger and better things. So it was a good issue overall. Next up from Vertigo, we have Daytripper #1. Now this is the limited series from Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon. Huge fan of both of them. If you haven't, you know, if you're not familiar with these two brother artists, killer stuff, especially their indie stuff. Picsou, 5. They were both on BPRD 1947. So that's what a lot of people know them from. Well, they are on their Vertigo series now. And so far, in this first issue, it pretty much talks about how you never know what's coming. You can never expect the unexpected. You know, life will throw you curveballs, as we see in this issue. It featured a lot of Fabio Moon's art in this issue. Hopefully we're going to see more Gabriel Ba. I don't know if they're going to be doing sharing art duties in the future, but good. It was a very good, clean story. The colors by Dave Stewart were amazing. And it was just, you get a sense huge things are going to happen for this series. And just to be on board when they start, to have that holy shit moment at the end, it's a good feeling. So if you're a big fan of these artists, please do yourself a favor. check this series out. Next up from DC, we have Rebels number 11. That's right, I'm talking about Rebels. Ever since issue 10 came out, I decided, hey, this is a good issue. Let me maybe go back and give the series a second try, because I remember first reading the first 2 issues, and I was just not loving it whatsoever. Went back again, read it all up into its entirety, and I gotta say, it is one of my new favorite series, and I'm so sorry to the creative team that I avoided it for so long. It is like, if you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy and Nova, well, this is like the equivalent in the DC universe. It's Legion before Legion of the Superheroes. And it's just that the cast is amazing, the action's amazing. This issue in particular, you have Starro the Conqueror versus the Black Lanterns. The Lanterns are on Starro like flies on poop because he lights up in red, because he is just always so rageful that it's just a never-ending battle and clash between these two. And just to see the Rebels just pass him off on Starro's own world, it was very, very satisfying at the end. But yes, Rebels, fantastic series, and you're going to see me reviewing a lot more titles in the future. I can almost guarantee it. I love it so much. And finally this week from Marvel, we have the Invincible Iron Man number 21. Now, big things happen in this issue, including some spoilers that, well, let's just say they're kind of there because the last issue of Captain America Reborn isn't out yet. It's out next week, of course. But, Tony Stark needs to be brought back to life. He has left the instructions on what to do. He's put Pepper Potts in a very difficult situation. And, you know, we can see a lot of familiar faces in this issue. And that's one of the things that really makes you... You might hate Tony Stark, but after reading this issue, you love him again. And it's before... It's like Civil War never happened after this. You just latch onto the character, and you want to love him. You want to see Tony Stark do great things and come back to life. And that's what happens in this issue. You have his physician, his doctor, with the Captain Americas, helping make a huge, like, shock to wake Tony Stark up and reboot him, as it were. And thanks to Pepper Potts' armor and the device she has in her chest, this is all going to happen. And it's only a matter of time, though, before Norman Osborn and Ghost, in particular, find him and try to put a bullet in his brain and make sure Tony Stark doesn't come back. Because Tony Stark is a very dangerous man. It's not always weapons that make people powerful. It's knowledge as well. So it was a fantastic issue. I really, really enjoyed it. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. From there, you can subscribe to us on RSS feed, on the iTunes. You can go chat on the forums, follow me on Twitter. And if you're feeling generous and like what you see, you can even make a donation via PayPal. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you see me wearing, head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has all the latest t-shirts, and there's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that's Kelly, over at deadlinegraphics.net. And also, huge shout out to my other sponsor, Rising Sun Creations at rsc-online.com. They specialize in the best of U.S. comic books, manga, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan. All located at rsc-online.com, or if you're in the San Diego area, they're right there in Mission Valley. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. I need to go do some Christmas shopping because I hear there are a lot of good deals on this Amazon. So I'm going to go make my wish list as well on Amazon because I just like making wish lists. I got my comic book wish list and my DVD wish list. So now I'm going to go make a comic DVD wish list. Yes! Genius! So, take it easy.